Hi everyone, this is Professor Benjamin. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving break. So I just wanted to give a brief roundup as we head into the last 2 to 3 weeks of this class. So this week we have due our renewable initial post and our renewable response post. So initial post due by Wednesday, response post due by Friday, quiz due by next Sunday. And then also don't forget, you have your final paper and your artwork due as well on December 3rd. So that's on Sunday. If you are done with your art piece and I gave you, you're great, you're good to go, then you just upload that art piece and then you also upload the paper along with it. If you are confused about the requirements, the requirements are right there. So how I will be grading you, what type of rubric, and that rubric will be put in the system so you'll know exactly what you're being graded on. So if I go here to the assignment, well, you can't do this, but I can because I'm just going behind the scenes. But right here, you'll see the grammar, the mechanics, the sources. These are the learning outcomes for this as well, but right here is the statistical number you have chosen is on your paper, how the topic you chose is a current day environmental problem, how by continuing on the current day environmental problem, of consumption and waste you chose to represent, we cannot live in a sustainable fashion. So you want to make sure you address all of these in a different paragraph dealing with your statistic in your paper. So if your issue is tires, then you want to address the fact that, how do we recycle those, or if we don't, the toxins from those tires when rain hits them or when they degrade can get released into the soil or into our water system, etc. Okay? So that's what the paper is. So right here, as you're writing your paper, you want to make sure that you're, okay, I talked about that very clearly in the paper. I talked about this very clearly because each part of that paper is worth 5 points dealing with this, okay? And then 15 points, of course, is dealt with that, you're using at least 3 sources, your paper is 2 pages, okay, that you're meeting all the extra stuff. So you want to make sure you do that for your paper, and I'll be grading that using a rubric. Okay, so if you did good on your art piece, part of the 75 points is the art piece, the other part of that 75 points is the paper. Okay, so that's due by Sunday. So this week you have a little bit more due. You have that renewable initial post due, renewable response post due, you have your quiz for renewable, and you have your paper and your artwork due. And then you get a week to prepare for the midterm, for the final exam. And remember, the final exam review sheet can be found. If you scroll down in the modules, the final exam is due right here. It's under population. So your review for your final is right there. And then, so you'll use next week to, right here, the week for the 4th through the 10th to prepare for your final exam. And then I give you the 9th through the 13th to take the final exam. Same rules as always. You get 1 chance to take your final exam. You get 3 hours. 1 chance in between that deadline, you get 3 hours, okay? So it's, straightforward as we move into the end of the semester, and I just want you to make sure that you're using that week, this December 4th week, to prepare for your final exam, okay? So I really do look forward to your posts, your artwork, and your paper that's due. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. Make sure that if you didn't get a chance, you go back and watch Gasland. You can watch Gasland 2. It's kind of the same idea. It is a follow-up to Gasland 1, but they do cover some of the material in Gasland 1 and Gasland 2, so you should be fine if you watch either film for the final exam. All the questions, again, like I stated before, if you prepare before the final exam, you should be fine on the final exam, okay? If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. I'm looking forward to, if you can just go hard for the next 3 weeks and then you're finished the semester. As far as grading, your grades are your grades. So whatever is your grade like leading into the final exam, and then we just add the final exam on there, all that will stay the same. So whatever that final grade is, that total is in Canvas, is what I'm going to put in your final grade in the banner system. Okay, and so what'll happen is after you hand in your artwork and your paper, I'll have those graded within the week. So going into the final exam, you should know relatively what you need to get on your final exam if you're worried about passing the class, or if you're worried about getting an A or a B, etc. You'll know that leading into the final exam. Okay, so have a wonderful week. And again, I'm looking forward. I can't wait to see your final artworks and your paper.